So hi, if you're watching this on YouTube, then some of what I'm about to say has been written by me on my Substack, also called The Magical World of G. Michael Vasey, and maybe you might go over and subscribe. It's free to subscribe to my Substack, and I write every single day except weekends on a variety of different topics. Anyway, it's come to how can I put it? I've had some thoughts recently about the modern world and technology, artificial intelligence and deep fakes, even social media. At first I thought social media was pretty good, but now it's just a clickbait city, isn't it? Shock, horror, lies and more lies. It's worse than the media, mostly. Not only that, but you got named people, who have an agenda that's anti-other people, like the Tucker Carlson and all that kind of stuff. They basically got their own agenda, so it becomes really confusing what on earth is going on in the world and what to think and what's the truth. Difficult, right? It used to be easy because the truth was just the propaganda you read, and there was nobody telling you that the propaganda was propaganda. So you just believed it, and in many ways it was an easy world. I mean, you can imagine how sometimes under communism it's easy to be communist, because there's an agenda and a narrative, and you believe it or you suffer. Anyway, so I was sat there and I was thinking about this one day in front of YouTube, as I do, amongst other things, and all of a sudden I realised that the fact that we can't trust anything anymore in the external world means that we have to rely increasingly on the internal world. Now, you've probably heard of Gnosticism and Gnostics, and these are people who basically got their knowing or their truth from inside themselves during deep meditation and prayer. And being someone that's meditated on and off for the last, 30 years, and developed inner contacts within those meditation sessions, like Astaroth and a Slavic shaman, you start to realize that the truth is within you. You already know the truth. You just have to dig it out. Now, there are some problems with that. One, we've been trained, we've been programmed. We are layer and layer and layer, like an onion, of opinion and emotion and ego and goodness knows what. And it's very difficult to remove those onion skins layer by layer in order to get back to the true you. So everything that you do see internally or conclude from internal gnosis is probably coloured by your own ego and those lenses. But even still, it's a lot better than Tucker Carlson's opinion, or anybody else's for that matter. Now, I'm a scientist, and I believe in the scientific method. And when I was writing a book called The Mystical Hexagram with the wonderful late Sue Vincent, all of my material was coming from Gnosis. It was coming from this inner contact, Astaroth. And I wanted to find some proof, like a scientist would, to cite somebody else saying the same thing, or some fact or something. But in the end, I realized that Gnosis is Gnosis. It stands on its own 2 feet. It's either right or it's wrong, and I don't need to prove it. It's my inner truth, and I'm proud of that book. The Mystical Hexagram. It's an interesting, weird read, but actually, once you get into it, there's an awful lot of good stuff in there, and it all came from Astaroth, this inner contact that I developed studying with the servants of the Light School of Esoteric Science. So basically, I'm beginning to think that as we come into this era of, I think we're moving into a group consciousness era, like Rory Duff was supposing, and Rudolf Steiner. And I think that this is to help us realize that we can meditate together, receive Gnosis, compare notes. And by doing this as a group, we somehow filter away our own egos and our own onion layers of bias and get to the kernel of the truth as a group of people. And so I'm convinced now that group meditation is actually the way to go, and that the modern world, the technical world, is basically just showing us the way to truth, Gnosis. Now, one of the other things that makes me realise that Gnosis is the way to go is dowsing. Yeah, okay, dowsing. I'm a scientist and I dowse. And I'm sure one day we'll figure out what the mechanism is behind dowsing and prove it scientifically. But for now, let me just say that the number of times that I've dowsed looking for a line only to find that I parked in it, the number of times that I've extrapolated on a map where that line might be and found out that I was wrong and that I'd parked my car to set out on the hike to find the line where the line was, that I already know the answer. I already know where the lines are, and that's how dowsing works. It's a subconscious thing. It's a form of Gnosis. As I'm walking along, I know where the lines are because I do. Gnosis. And the subconscious reaction on the rod indicates that to my conscious mind. So I think that dowsing is one proof, for my mind anyway, that Gnosis and meditation is exactly the way to go to get to the truth, because we already know the truth. And I would leave you with a couple of thoughts. There is no doubt that we don't need priests, we don't need churches, we don't need hierarchy, and we don't need men dressed in black suits with white collars. God is inside each and every one of us. We are little sparks of God. And it is that little spark of God that we reach when we meditate or pray deeply. And that little piece of God is where we get our Gnosis from. And if we gather together in a group and do this meditation, as the scripture says, believe it or not, where many gather in my name, there I will be.